This looks bad.
Because the pattern on this Bitcoin chart looks almost identical to what we've seen play out 2 times in the last few months. It also looks almost identical to what we saw happen back in 2022. And after that, we saw the Bitcoin price dump nearly 67%, dragging a number of altcoins down to new lows with it. So it's no surprise that we're now back in extreme fear. However, behind the scenes, I believe that this setup is completely different to what we've seen before. And I'm going to help you cut through the noise and calm the nerves so that you can understand really the mechanisms behind what is driving this price action on the chart right now and why it's incredibly unlikely to see a significant sell-off below the lows that we've already seen already. Do me a favor, hit the like button and let's unpack this. Now guys, I'm sorry for fraying your nerves at the start of this video, but I just had to resonate with you about how you're feeling. And it's no surprise that your nerves are shattered right now because of what we are seeing on the Bitcoin chart. I mean, just look at it. This chart pattern looks incredibly similar to one that we saw back earlier this year, that started in November and ran all the way till early January. It also looks very similar to what we saw happen back in 2022. And many people are now speculating that because this happened in March of 2022 and looks pretty similar, that it must happen again and we should be expecting to see a horrific dump lower. But what if this is looking incredibly different behind the scenes to this and what happened here and what happened over here? But I agree, it's difficult to see past the pattern that you're seeing right now. So before I unpack and tell you what's really happening behind the scenes and why this is really different, let's quickly understand why this current pattern is causing us some problems as investors and why it's so difficult to look past this. You see, this pattern basically for us is now associated with pain. We see this happen, we know what's going to happen next, right? Because it's already happened. We should be expecting to see it happen again. This is where we get trapped as traders. You see, if you've ever read the book Fast and Slow Thinking, which is worth looking into, especially if you are looking to trade and become an investor, you will understand that the human mind thinks in 2 ways. Fast and slow thinking. Typically, most of the decisions and most of the things that you do on a daily basis are fast decisions. Our brain has shortcutted ways for us to be able to think quickly and clearly to make quick decisions. This is why you can drive a car and ride a bike without having to think about it too much. However, this is a downfall because your brain is basically identifying patterns and assuming what's going to happen next from it. This is where we get trapped as traders. And guess what? The market makers, the smart money, who are basically controlling a lot of these moves in the market, know exactly how you and I think. And if you get too trapped up in the way of thinking, then it can cause you some issues. And let me show you where it's caused issues for traders in the past. This is realized loss breakdown from Check On Chain. Definitely worth checking out his Substack. Pretty cool charts and stuff over there. Now, this is basically showing you the amount of realized losses that we've seen over time. As you can see, we've had 2 massive capitulation events over the course of the last few months. And I've already talked about why this is important, because it means that a lot of massive capitulation has already happened. If no one's really left to sell and panic sell, then effectively the price can't come too much lower, right? But what I want to show you that I think is really important is actually what happened here. You see, back on the period between the 10th of March and the 30th of March 2023, we'd already started our run back up from a bear market bottom after the FTX collapse into new bull market. And yet there was this little pullback from the Bitcoin price from around 24K down to $20,000. And the capitulation that happened on that event was absolutely massive. So basically what happened is a lot of people who basically held through the worst of the bear market and everything else, got into the bull market phase, didn't even realize they were in a bull, expected it to roll over because it looked like a similar pattern to what they'd already seen. They'd already been triggered into believing that more and more pain was going to come from similar charts, and then they basically sold at probably the worst time. Because after that, it went from 20K to 30K, bounced around at 30K for a bit. Ultimately, it finished the year somewhere around 45K. Early the next year, it went up to 71, and then you know what happened next. Anyway, psychology lesson over. Let's jump into really what's going on behind the scenes, because this Bitcoin chart alone will get us into a little bit of trouble. Now, in order to help me describe what's going on, I'm going to jump across to a chart from this guy, Psychedelic. Go and check him out on Twitter. Psychedelic_ is his name here. And he recently posted this particular chart. Now, we've got a few things to look at here that all look a little bit complicated, but actually don't worry, it's all very straightforward. At the top, you've got the Bitcoin price on the 4-hour chart. Then down below, you've got things like funding rates, open interest, and Coinbase premiums, which will all help you understand why this time is different. Now, first of all, let's look at the boxes on the left-hand side. You can see the Bitcoin price in that little rally up that happened back in January, which is this move here, okay? This particular move here, which is what everybody is comparing this particular move to right now. Now, as you look down below, you can see various things. You can see the funding rate, which is here in the green, being significantly more green than it is over here right now, where it's very red. And down below, you can see the open interest going up significantly. Right now, the open interest remains flat. And then at the bottom, you can see the Coinbase premiums previously were massively red, and now they're green. Now, this is really key to understand. If you understand what all of these three things are below, then you're going to understand that actually the chance of a capitulation significantly lower than where we've been for Bitcoin right now. Dare I say it is incredibly unlikely. Here's why. You see, this is the funding rate. Now, what on earth is the funding rate? The funding rate is literally how much it costs you to open a leverage trade. Now, let's say you want to go to Binance right now and you want to open a long trade on Pengu, okay? And it's a 10x trade. You're going to use $100 and it's going to give you $1,000 worth of buying pressure. Okay, 10 times 100 is 1,000. Now, in order for you to have that trade open, you're going to have to borrow $900 from the exchange in order to use that trade. Makes sense? And the funding rate is how much it's going to cost you to borrow that money. Now, if everybody is going long right now on Pengu, the funding rate will be high. It will cost you more money to borrow from the exchange to trade on Pengu. Why? Because obviously the exchange knows that people want to trade it right now. However, if nobody wants to go long on Pengu right now, the funding rate can be incredibly low. And in fact, if everybody is going short right now, they as market makers will try to encourage people to take long positions, and they can create negative funding rates where you actually earn a little bit of money to go against the herd. Now, what you see back in January was everybody thinking that this was just a dip, and they were all going leverage long at this point to ride us back to all-time high. Now, what happened at that point is the market ripped down here. All of those people who were leveraged long got liquidated down here, which meant that all of their buying power, all of the money that they chucked into the market and borrowed from someone else, was then flipped into selling power. And it's this that caused a massive, rapid capitulation down. High leverage leads to big capitulation events. If you can think back to what happened on the 1010 event. Everyone was leveraged to the gills on altcoins and everything else. They all ripped towards the downside. Everyone got liquidated very fast. And then you get those huge liquidation candles like you saw on Sui and Atom and a bunch of others. Okay, so that's funding rate. Right now, you can see it's pretty red. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a green spike here. But in general, you would have to admit that this is very red compared to that looking very green. Now, down below is the open interest. Kind of similar to the funding rates and stuff like that. It basically shows how many people are opening leverage positions. As you can see, previously back in January, as soon as the price started to stabilize and rise, lots of people started to open more and more leverage positions. This is similar to what we've just been talking about with funding rates. These two metrics together basically show you a very clear picture of what is going on. Right now, the market is not particularly excited to trade in either direction. Okay, there's not a lot of leverage in the markets. And guess what? Right now, there's not a lot of long leverage left in the market because everyone's already been liquidated and no one wants to go long anymore because they're believing that it's going to go down because of some pattern that they've seen play out a few times before. Then it means that those prices can't get liquidated. We can't have that big spike. On top of all of this, the icing on the cake is what you see on the bottom. You see, this is Coinbase premiums. Now, if you've ever used Coinbase, which probably you have because most people out there do use it when they first get into crypto because it's incredibly easy to use. Might be a little bit expensive and difficult to use in certain countries, but it's pretty easy to use. It's also very highly respected in the United States, and a lot of institutions in the United States are using it to purchase crypto. Now, what you see on the bottom is the cost of buying a Bitcoin on Coinbase versus the cost of buying a Bitcoin on Binance. Now, Binance is not a US exchange. Effectively, it's a Chinese exchange, although it's based in another country now. But anyway, lots of people around the world use Binance and can buy Binance coins. But effectively, Coinbase is used for spot buying and Binance is used for leverage. Okay, so it tells you that right now the cost of buying a Bitcoin on Coinbase is higher than it is on Binance, and that's because more people are buying Bitcoin on spot on Coinbase right now than they are on Binance. Very important. It tells you that there's more spot buyers than there is leverage positions opening up. This is also very important. Right now we are sat in extreme fear. Why does that matter? Because I could tell you till I'm blue in the face that the price is going to go higher and whatever else, but most of you will not believe me, and the majority of people will still be down in the comments telling me that I'm an idiot, meaning that most retail investors, normal people out there, aren't willing to be buying into the markets. So why are we getting a big spike up on Coinbase premiums? Well, because who typically buys in these periods of extreme fear? Institutions, banks, smart money. Those people are the ones who are loading up on Coinbase right now into Bitcoin. This doesn't happen when you're up high, because this, when you're up high, is showing you that all the retail bros are out there going 10x leverage, 50x leverage, because they're waiting for the bounce towards the upside. They're still in that kind of greedy, exciting phase. Meanwhile, all the whales are out there being like, well, prices are probably going to come down a little bit. Let me just sell off a bit of the Bitcoin I hold so that I can calm things down. Eventually, the price gets dipped underneath. Everybody gets liquidated. Price rallies to the downside. Right now, we are seeing cool, calm accumulation when there is not much leverage left in the system. So what? Well, if we jump back to the Bitcoin chart, you can see that since I started making this video, the price has come down a little tiny bit. And I'm sure that by the time this video goes live, someone will be in the comments being like, well, it's fallen at least $500 since you made this video or whatever else. It doesn't really matter. But my opinion here is the chances of this happening are incredibly low, because ultimately what causes this is people being over leveraged in the system. It's also caused by people not kind of buying and panic selling and everything else. But we've already had panic selling here, we had panic selling here, we had panic selling here in a big way. 3 major panic selling events, right? We have one here, we got these 2 here, which were both far bigger than this one back when Celsius or Terra Luna or whatever it is went under. Or maybe this was when quantitative tightening started and we started to hear more about interest rate hikes. Remember, we're seeing the complete opposite right now from a macro standpoint as well. Just yesterday, the Federal Reserve came out and said that the economy in the US is expanding. That means that the ISM, the manufacturing index, is likely going to have a higher reading than 50. We didn't have interest rate increases despite the oil prices being high and inflation starting to go up and all of that. War in the Middle East, which obviously is a big shock, has a very big impact on the world due to the fact that it is geographically sensitive because a lot of the world's oil comes from that particular region, is also now having a huge impact. We'll see more risk on conditions returning. We're going to see continued balance sheet expansion from the Fed, and also because they have to service a huge amount of debt this year because they didn't pay it off last year, they've had to roll it over, and ultimately things don't look too bad. Another thing that's worth paying attention to is while Bitcoin is getting people all hot and bothered and a little bit worried about what's going on, what we also see is this: Bitcoin dominance slowly decaying, slowly falling off the face of a cliff. And guess what? This looks very similar to that bearish pattern that we've just been looking at, correct? Now, I'm not going to say for sure that we're going to break lower right now from this particular zone, but you can see that it is definitely finding it hard to build up against this particular zone. Now, the Bitcoin dominance has been falling while the Bitcoin price has been sort of cooling a little bit. This is important because I believe it tells us that many of the altcoins already have bottomed against Bitcoin. And this happened basically back in June last year. This was June. This was October the 10th. This was November the 9th. This was December the 21st. And now you can see we are literally putting in a higher low. This is an uptrend forming here for the altcoins against Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin remains in and around this zone, and it's important that you understand that it can indeed remain in and around this zone, which means it can even drop to around this level, like we've seen already for the Bitcoin price, then it means that the altcoins will likely stay fairly steady for where they already are. And that's because altcoins got sold off far faster and far more aggressively than Bitcoin. Also, remember, when Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs, very few altcoins out there were as well. This happened on, the 6th of October, and Ethereum was only just tipping its toe above all-time highs at that point. Really, Ethereum has just been ranging in kind of sideways action since the last bull market top. It's yet to have its major bull market breakout. But as you can see in general, it is starting to trend higher, and eventually there will be a breakout that takes Ethereum back above 4,800, back above 5,000 and beyond. Now you could also argue that we're not going to chop around in this zone, and maybe we're just going to be hanging around here, retesting these previous kind of areas of resistance, and maybe bouncing back up towards the 79 $80,000 level. But ultimately, for me, a lot of the research and stuff I do is so that I can remain calm in this particular situation and not get panicked whether we have a few $1,000s lower, a few $1,000s higher, whatever it is. So I can calmly prepare for what happens next. Ultimately, I want to be able to buy in cheap. I believe the altcoins market in general is fairly cheap right now, considering where it will eventually end up, which I believe to be much higher. So I just want to be positioned and keep calm, ready for what's going to come. Now, at that point, I do think that we probably bounce up towards a zone somewhere around the $79,000 level. You can see this particular kind of area of interest here. Clearly got some selling going on in this particular zone before, and in fact we just tipped into it just the other day. After that, I do think that we are going to be heading back towards the kind of $90,000 level. This will cause a big problem across the market because many people who've been sidelined throughout this period will be starting to think, do I need to FOMO back in? If we start to get lots of greed, returning lots of leveraged longs and stuff like that, I will also be cautious because I do think that that would be a fairly good recipe to roll everyone over into a zone like that before seeing kind of continuation later on over the next few months. So here's what I'm doing in this area. If we continue to chop around and go into these lows again, then maybe I'll continue to add more to some of the altcoin positions that I talked about the other day. If you missed that video, go and check it out after this. This altcoin video, I talked about the no-brainer altcoins that pretty much do well as soon as the market goes up. Because many of these altcoins have huge amounts of money in the bank. They also have market makers who will drive the price and get everybody excited again. It happens every single time crypto goes up. These altcoins are very easy to identify, and I show you how to find the altcoins in that video that I made a week ago. And also, if you're into trading and you want to learn more about trading, or you wish to simply just go and purchase more altcoins, whatever it is, then I highly recommend you go and check out Bitunix, link down below in the description, because right now they have a deposit bonus, which is up to $40,000 in USDT and gold, which is obviously pretty cool. Also, they allow you to trade pretty much every single different altcoin that I talked about in that video the other day, and most altcoins that I will continue to talk about as time runs on over the years. Also, I personally use this exchange because I travel a lot around the world right now. In fact, I'm in China, and it means I don't have any problems trying to log in depending on where I am, and also don't have to register my local details when I'm doing that particular moving around. Also, if you want to learn to trade and start getting trading signals on a daily basis, then make sure you check out this group down below for WEEX. Simply all you got to do is go across, set up the bot, and go and deposit some funds to WEEX, and you can go and enter that trading group where you'll be able to access not only signals, but also see various different trading setups, start to educate yourself in the world of trading before you start getting too hyped up and excited. Right now is a great time to double down and start learning more about what's going on in the markets. Try to avoid becoming overly emotional with what's going on. Now, personally, I'm going to take the weekend off, go see some pandas and see some other stuff. And if the market's stressing you out too much, I recommend that you do the same. Do me a favor, just hit the like button if you made it this far through, and as well, leave a comment down below. And I will see you very soon in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.